What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I took my buddy Shane here to get his first ever black iron pot and burner. Look at this setup right here, all kind of sizes. We went to the Thibodeau store, which is right around the corner from my home here in Thibodeau, Louisiana. They've got all the accessories to go with your cooking needs. The star today is this 6.5 gallon pot and burner that Shane's gonna go ahead and buy. He's also an Alabama fan, so I gotta really teach him how to be Cajun here. Alright, so the first thing we want to do to this pot is get it cleaned. Alright, you want to spray it down real good. Get all the sides, crevices, what have you, the lid and all. Because for this pot, the lid is also cast iron. From here, this is the one time I'm really going to use soap. I put it on there just to clean off the residue that comes on this pot. You want to take a scoring pad here and just use that elbow grease. Really get up in there and scrub it down real good. You'll see that the soap starts to kind of turn gray. That's all the stuff you're getting off the surface there, all that residue. And we spray it down and get it all out of there. From here, you'll see that the water's looking a little bit clearer, a little cleaner. That means we're getting that pot nice and clean. So I flip it over and make sure I do the other side as well. Once again, I spray it down and then put the elbow grease to the pot. Get it nice and clean. And then we spray it off. Looking good. I also made sure that Shane got some elbow grease in. I can't let an Alabama fan come to my house and not do work. Nick Saban would be very proud of him. And then we dry them off. Get them nice and dry so we can move them to the oven. Now I set my oven to 300 degrees right here. I'm just putting the pot in plain like this so I can dry it out really good and make sure all the pores kind of open up before we season it. I then put my top rack back in the oven and then I put the lid on that top rack. So that way the pot and lid can all dry out together using that convection heating. I do this for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, this thing is dry and ready to season. You're gonna wanna preheat your oven to 500 degrees at this point. So I'll start with the bottom side first, so that way when I flip this thing over and wipe down the inside, I'll be completely done and ready to put this thing back in the oven. I'm using Crisco here today. It's a vegetable shortening. I love the way it polymerizes, just looks great. So I'm just going to apply a thin layer all over this pot. Every crevice I can put this Crisco, I will. Then I flip this thing back over using my silicone oven mitts. I find that helps with the sticking. And then I apply another thin layer all over the inside of this pot. I really take my time here, making sure I get every crevice. I even get some more of this Crisco and go back over every single spot just to make sure I did not miss anything. And I also want to make sure it's a thin layer. So I go back over with the rest of that paper towel and just wipe it all down. And that is it right there. You know, I just keep applying, wipe it all down, make sure it looks really good. And as I did with the pot, I also do with the lid, because the lid is also cast iron. And I make sure I get all around the handle, all around the top, the edges, every single bit of this thing, just wiping it down really good. The bottom side too, because we're gonna put it in there with that pot and this whole thing is gonna polymerize. It's gonna be beautiful. And there we go. All wiped down. So you don't want to do like I did here, ladies and gentlemen. Do not put the legs of this thing on the glass. I could face palm myself right now just watching this. But fortunately it worked out. I did not have any problems, but I would not suggest doing that. Alright, so now that the pot is in, you want to set your timer for 45 minutes. Once the 45 minutes is up, you will turn your timer off and then turn the oven off. Then you'll reset the timer for 2 hours. And just let it sit in there and cool off. After 2 hours, this thing is still going to be hot, all right? So use your oven mitts to take it out. But the beautiful part is all of that Crisco has completely polymerized. Look how pretty that is. Even though this is very shiny, I'm telling you, it is not a greasy surface. It is just a slick, smooth surface. All of that Crisco has hardened to the cast iron. Even the lid, man, the lid is beautiful, real pretty, real shiny. Ah, I love this part. Look at that. So nice. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is a 6.5 gallon cast iron pot that has been seasoned with Crisco. And it looks amazing, man. Just so shiny in that sun. Beautiful looking pot. Now look, when you cook with these things, you got to make sure you start with a low heat, all right? Don't go crazy with it out the gate. Start with a low heat and get your things just right as you're cooking. And I promise you, you'll end up with something amazing like this beautiful chicken and sausage gumbo right here. Just good old South Louisiana cooking.
All done, bro.
That thing's nice, man.
Is it?
Now you're a true Cajun. Even though you're from Louisiana and you wear Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Oh! What can I say? Good food brings good people together.